it is some of the fondest memories I'll ever have in my lifetime, growing up on the farm in that part of the country. Yeah, it was 45, 50 years ago, you know, and times have changed, but the importance of preserving rural life and that way of life are never more important today in Arkansas and across America. In our efforts at Commerce and AEDC to create an economic environment where every Arkansan can achieve prosperity and a quality of life, rural prosperity is also critically important. No, we can't have a U.S. Steel or a Big River Steel in every county and every town across the state, but we can and do work to create jobs all over the state, in big cities and, of course, in small towns. And I just wanted to mention that over the past 3 or 4 years, AEDC has worked and the state has worked to see some job creation and capital investment in Hope, Blytheville, Mulberry, Van Buren, Camden, East Camden, Newport, Magnolia, Osceola, Helena, Heber Springs, Glenwood, Crossett, Ash Flat, Ozark, Huntsville, Flippin, Bearden, Leola, Clarksville, and Arkadelphia. There's a few more on that list as well, but those are all small towns. They're all towns of roughly 1,000 population, 10,000 population or below, and a critical life source to rural Arkansas. And excluding the U.S. Steel capital investment and job creation, that amounted to $1.9 billion in the state in terms of capital investment and over 3,300 jobs. So we do focus on rural Arkansas, and we want to do more. In addition to to that effort, our community development and grants team supports every region of the state, and it has advised and counseled economic development strategies and grants all over the state. And we've also increased our priority and focus on entrepreneurship, which we believe is vitally important for rural Arkansas and rural America. Good ideas just don't happen in the big cities, but they also happen in small towns and rural Arkansas and rural America, and we want to help support that. You'll hear more about that today from Mr. Jeff Standridge of the Conductor. So we welcome you and wish you have a productive conference. So now it's my privilege to introduce to you our 47th Governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Governor Sanders sets the bar high and sets the direction high with her cabinet, and I'm certainly honored to be a part of it, and we're working day and night to execute the strategies that improve service to Arkansans, and we do it in a way that's more effective and it's more efficient. Implementing private sector strategies where we can and should to save the taxpayers money and also prudently give it back to them at every opportunity. Working creatively across cabinets to reduce silos and more effectively create results better, faster, and cheaper. Trying to reduce excessive and unnecessary regulations and rules and create an environment where more businesses and more people want to move here and grow faster and create wealth and accelerated levels. So, and it's also a pleasure to work for her, and we're certainly honored to work for her. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 47th Governor, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Definitely much shorter than Hugh here. I think it's very clear who the Baptists are in the room. They're the group over here hiding out where we're going to pass the offering plate. So Feel free, there are a couple seats if you guys want to grab a spot. It is wonderful to be here with you this afternoon, and really glad that I get to join. I see several of our great legislators from around the state, as well as members of the AEDC Commission. Thank you for the work that you guys do and how well you represent our state, not just in your own communities and in business, but frankly around the country, as you are leaders in your industry, and we're thankful for the work that you do and how well you help us continue to grow business around Arkansas. And a special thank you to Secretary McDonald, who is doing a phenomenal job at the Department of Commerce. And a lot of the success stories that we have that he talked about are because of his leadership, and the entire team at AEDC and Commerce, Clint O'Neill, who is also here, are really just doing a great job and helping Arkansas to compete against every state in the country and bringing jobs to every corner of Arkansas, and we're really proud of what we've been able to accomplish over the last year and a half. You know, one of the greatest privileges of my job is being able to get out of Little Rock and go into a lot of the communities that most of you represent. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love our capital city. It's where I grew up, it's where I call home, and it's where my husband Brian and I are raising our own kids. But it's nice to get outside of Little Rock, and one of the things that we started a few months ago in order to do that and really force not just me to be outside of the capital city, but for our entire staff and team to get out, highlight communities around Arkansas, but more importantly, engage with members of those communities, hear about the things that are working, not working, areas we can be more helpful. And so we started a program called Capital for a Day, and it has been tremendously successful and really interesting. We've been able to both highlight exciting things happening in a community, but also solve problems right there day of because of the interaction that we're having. And so far, we have done 11 of those visits. I'll admit some of it is because the events and day-to-day monotony of being in the Capitol building can make you want to bang your head through a wall, and blowing up a beaver dam in Magnolia or driving tractors outside of Walnut Ridge can sometimes be a bit more fun than just sitting in the Capitol, and so it certainly gets us out. You know, growing up with a dad as a governor, I saw a lot of different things that he was doing and doing very successfully. And so that was one of the ideas that I sort of took from him, so that you have a greater appreciation for the various communities and people that you serve. And a good bit of my life, my dad took office when I was 13. I heard him repeatedly say being governor was the best job in the world. Well after he had left office, he would repeatedly say, being governor is the best job you can ever have. And I will never forget, just recently, shortly after I had taken office, I had a particularly rough couple of days. And I called my dad and I said, hey, you know how you're always talking about how being governor is the best job in the world? He was like, yeah. I said, when does that happen? When does that start? And he gave me some pretty good advice, and in a way that only a dad can do. And he said, Sarah, he goes, you haven't done anything yet. He said, when you get something done and you start to impact those communities that you're serving, he said, when you least expect it, you'll be in a grocery store, at a baseball game, maybe visiting a local business. Somebody will come up to you and they'll tell you that because of the policy that you fought for, because of the change that you made, their life is better. They're being better served because of what you're doing as governor. He goes, that's the day that it becomes the best job in the world. And I'm really proud to say that now I get to live that every single day, because all over the state of Arkansas, we have people coming up and talking to us about the changes that we're making, whether it's on education and the historic investment that we've been able to make into our education system, whether it's a family whose child is now getting the education that they need, that they've been fighting for and hoping for years, that they were never able to access before education freedom accounts. Whether it's a teacher who's now getting a salary that allows her to continue staying in the profession because she's being paid the wages that she should have been for a long time. These are the types of moments and things that are really making a big difference. And we get to experience that a lot when we're serving and doing some of the Capital for a Day events. And it's one of the reasons I like it the most. I remember I was in Mountain Home, and I went into Mountain Home Christian Academy during that city's Capital for a Day. And the school was about to be approved for education freedom accounts. And they were so excited to welcome new families into their school who couldn't previously afford it. And I got to meet this family whose the dad was an active duty military family, and his 2 daughters were going to be able to go to that school because of the education freedom accounts. We were visiting with state police troopers at the Troop I in Harrison, and they were thrilled because of extra funding that had been provided for law enforcement training and recruitment. Since coming into office and working with our partners in the legislature, we've been able to add over 100 officers to state police, nearly a 20% increase. And that's something that we know has a direct impact on every community across the state, because we want to make sure that our communities are safe. It's hard to bring about economic development if we don't have safe communities. And so investing in our law enforcement, we know will make a huge difference and make your jobs easier as you go out and try to recruit and retain business in your area. And we're proud of the fact that we've invested in those education, public safety, and tourism, things that we know are all critical to economic development, whether you're in a big town or a small town or everything in between. Today, we have more Arkansans working than ever before, and a big portion of that growth is coming from our smaller cities and counties. But I also know that we have a lot more work to do, and that we're going to continue to work together to build on what we've started. That's why I'm glad to be at today's conference. It's why I'm glad to see that we have literally hundreds of attendees that have come from all over Arkansas. I know that state government will not be the answer to all of our problems. In fact, sometimes we're the creator of some of those problems. But I do believe that great partnership with our state, our local, our private, public, nonprofit sectors coming together can address and meet the needs of our state, and that's exactly what events like today we get to see play out. It takes every single one of us coming together on the local level and in our businesses to light a fire and fuel development, and that's what you all are doing here today. I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish. I look forward to continuing to be a great partner from the state level. Anything that you need that we can help with, we certainly want to do that. I know that several members of our team are here and are going to be here over the course of the next day or so for the conference. I hope that you will grab them, and if there's a way that we can assist your community, or if you'd like for us to come and do a Capital for a Day, we'd love to come and highlight the great things that are going on in each of your towns, as well as get to know some of the issues that we can help solve. Thank you for representing our state so well. We're glad to be here, and we are really proud to get to partner with each one of your communities. So thank you for the work you do, and we look forward to continuing to work with you guys. Thanks so much.
Good afternoon. I'm Jay Bunyard, Vice Chairman of the Arkansas Economic Development